Bert. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Very well. And you? How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for allowing this talk about conch pearls. Yes, it's not something that people are usually talk about, so it's good that we can promote those natural pearls.
Right. So, guys, welcome all of you all. And today we are in for some Pearl talk. Well, I have curated multiple chats on Pearl, but today we will learn about the most valuable, the most rarest, and the most beautiful natural pearls, which are the conch pearls. And these pearls are collector's paradise. And when set in jewelry, they make the most beautiful jewels. And with us is Bert, who is from Ocean Flames Limited. He's carrying forward his family legacy of bringing these rare pearls for all of us. And Bert, we welcome you and we look forward to learning all about conch pearls from you. Let's begin by knowing that how did you know the world of natural pearls and conch pearls were your true calling?
That's a long story actually. I'm gonna try to make it very short. But basically, it all started with my uncle maybe 20, 25 years ago. He was an oil engineer working for a large corporation around the world on different gas plants. And he started to think that his career has to change. He wants to try a different life. So he switched
Mm-hmm.
from gas to actually gemology. So he went to London, studied for a year, won a scholarship, and went directly to Colombia actually to source some emeralds.
Okay.
So he was like trading emeralds for a few years back in the days. And on one of his trips on the island in Colombia, someone showed him some conch pearls
Mm-hmm.
because it comes from over there. And
Mm-hmm.
since that day, actually, he put it in his portfolio and
Mm-hmm.
decided to trade conch pearls all over the world. That's how it all started.
Wow.
When I grew up, actually, I was always going with him on different trips or different shows. And unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago, and that's where I decided to carry on what he was doing because I had this passion in me anyway.
Mm-hmm. So we wish you all the very best, Bert, to carry forward your uncle's legacy.
Thank you, forward. My daughter is already talking about it. She's very young, but she's always
Wow.
telling me, "Daddy, Daddy, bring me to work. I want to do the same." So
Wow.
that's good.
So, what are conch pearls?
Wow, that's very large question.
Very last question, right?
um, let, if you allow me, like 1 minute, let me just make a recap on pearls and what are pearls. We
Yes,
start
please.
with this. I would say there's two major categories of pearls. The one you find in lakes and rivers, we call it the freshwater pearls, and there's the sea salt pearls
Mm-hmm.
coming from the oceans, basically. So if you take the freshwater, there's natural, not natural. It's mostly China, coming from China or from Mississippi in US,
Mm-hmm.
which are actually natural pearls most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you take seawater, there will be two categories, the natural and the cultured. If you take cultured, you will have the Akoya pearls, Tahitian pearls, and South Sea pearls. Three different
Mm-hmm.
colors, very, very similar. And there are natural pearls. And this is where it becomes interesting. And in the natural pearls, there's two categories. The bivalve, so the ones coming from oysters
Right.
that you will find in Bahrain, Mexico, Philippines a little bit, Indonesia as well. So this is the traditional oyster pearls that everybody knows. The round
Mm-hmm.
one, white one. And on the other categories will be the non-nacreous pearls. So non-nacreous
Mm-hmm.
pearls usually come from the sea snail. So it's a shell. Let
Mm-hmm.
me show you. Will be like this.
Okay.
So, and inside there will be a creation of a pearl. It could be conch pearl, mellow pearl. There's different species. But today we're
Right.
going to talk about this one. And it grows like this.
Oh my God. So is that like the biggest size of the conch shell?
Ugh, no, it's not the biggest size. It can be much, much
Wow.
bigger. Size. This one should be around 15 years old.
And tell us that how many pearls does come out from one shell? Do we have just one or two, or there could be like bunch of conch pearls?
Only one. It's extremely, I've seen only once in my life two pearls from the same shell. Actually, Lobatis gigas, it was another species. It was the horse conch,
So
which is
that's
a
a
bit different.
different.
So, yeah. Uh, it's the same family. The pearl will come in a different color,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still a conch pearl. But to
So
answer
just
your question, one shell, one pearl. That's it. And
that's
if you're
so
lucky,
rare.
if
Hmm.
you're lucky, if you're lucky, you will find a pearl out of 10 to 15,000 animals. So that's how rare it is.
That's incredible to know. Yes.
It's small treasures.
It's small treasures, but very valuable ones and very, very rare and very precious.
There's not that many, and how would I say that? There will be less and less in the future. It takes a lot of
Right.
time to create a natural pearl like this. As this is a product that people are fishing for the food, the
Hmm.
population is always like going down, coming up, going down, coming up. The average age, I would say, of the animal is much lower than it used to be. So there will be less pearls.
And
Mhm.
these pearls have a very beautiful color. So let's begin by knowing about the color of these pearls. And of course, we want to see a lot of conch pearls from you.
I can show you a lot of conch pearls. What you need to know about the colors is actually there's different factors. You see, I don't know if you can see. This is a
Yes.
very nice sakura pink color with
Wow.
an intense pink and red hues inside.
Mm-hmm.
The color compare if you take a regular pearl that you, let's say, Akoya pearl. The color of the pearl is based on its position in the lip of the animal. So this is
Mm-hmm.
how you can determine more or less the color it will be. Inside a conch shell, as you can see, there's absolutely
Mm-hmm.
no way to say where it comes. There's different colors, different shades, and from the different observations that we have, the color is based basically on what the animal is eating and the temperature of the water. This is what will have an influence. And that's why you can say more or less that usually in certain part of Caribbeans, the pearls
Mm-hmm.
tend to be in a certain color. But it's very,
Okay.
yeah, it's very random, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can show you something. You will have different, you see on this, you have different shades, different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And can you please hold that once again for us? We would love to admire the different colors. And these all come from the Caribbean islands, right?
Absolutely. The animal lives between basically Florida,
Okay.
Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, until Colombia. And that's it.
Right.
Nowhere else in the world. Everyone saying conch pearls from another country is not true.
Have you gone inside the ocean to dive and to look for these
Oh,
shells? Yes.
yeah. I've been trying a few times fish. I go usually to the islands a few times a year.
Mm-hmm.
Before the COVID, this year was a little
Mm-hmm.
bit complicated. Yeah, try to fish some. Yeah, absolutely. But it's not that easy
Right.
to find. It's not
Right.
easy, really.
Mm-hmm. And talk to us about the procedure. Once you have the shell with you, how difficult it is to first remove the meat and then to remove the conch pearl, right? That's how
Okay,
it works.
let me show you. Usually, the fishermen
Mm-hmm.
are doing is that they
Right.
make a hole on top of it. They
Okay.
use a big knife, they make the hole, put the knife inside, and they cut the animal from the shell. And then
Okay.
after, it will just go down here. And
Okay.
then after it's the cleaning process. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, once in a while they will find a pearl inside. It's not something that happens that often.
Talk to us about the flame-like structure.
I always compare the flame structure of conch pearls to the cat eye effect that you can
Okay.
find in different stone.
Right.
Basically, it's the way the pearl, which is created, is putting layers over layers like this.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the layers are combining together, they're
Mm-hmm.
creating an internal structure. So with the light going on it, you will see some kind of waves inside. And this
Mm-hmm.
is actually every conch pearl will have it as a pattern. But to see it, it's not that many pearls actually, because usually it's very, you need the loop to see them. So having a nice pearl with this flame structure that you can see very easily is extremely
Mm-hmm.
rare. This is like the most valuable part of this pearl.
Mm-hmm. So talking about the most valuable part, what generally affects the value of these pearls? Is it the color or is it the flame-like structure which you spoke about?
So I would say in the conch business, everybody has a different interpretation of the value and the price. From what I mean, from the different pearls that I've seen in my life and the one we traded, I will rank it like this. The most important is the color. And I'm sure a lot of people will agree. Jewelry business is a color business. We all look for something perfect that reflects what we look for. The second thing which is important will be the shape. So traditionally, a pearl is round. A conch pearl is oval. A long conch pearl is extremely rare because we saw on the shell that inside is different. So the second aspect will be the shape. After you get the size, it's like everything. But I would put the flame structure at the end. Why? If you have a yellowish baroque conch pearl with intense flame, the value is still low. It's not that important. It will be lower than a pink one. But if you have pink oval with flame, this is what people look for. But on this,
we see some more of a jackpots.
Okay, let me show you. I got a set where I got different pearls on it. So most of them have the flame structure that you will see. All pink, different shades. This one is interesting because talking about shape, rare to find, very rare to find. And then after I got so many. Let me show you something. I have a horse conch pearl. So how we were mentioning earlier, the shell could be like 1 meter big, and the color is different. But
this is a horse conch pearl. This is so rare.
Absolutely, it's extraordinary.
And see the gloss and the flame-like structure. The texture looks glossy.
Actually, this is the point of the conch pearl. It's ceramic. It's just like a plate.
Ceramic.
It's always shiny. No treatment to make. There's nothing to do. It's always like this.
Can you please hold it once again? We want to admire that horse conch pearl. Wow, look at that beauty.
The largest I've seen, actually.
Shades we can see from reddish to yellowish to orangish. Like how, exactly. How do you describe the color of this one?
This is a very good question. Actually, if I categorize this color, I would say it's a brown one with a red saturation on it.
Okay, please hold it again. I can't stop admiring that, please. It's a brown one with a red saturation on it. Okay, got it. It makes sense to us, yes.
You see, after putting the name is not that interesting since there's only one like this. But what is interesting in this one, it's really the shape is based on the inside of the shell. You can really see actually that it grew up and touched almost everywhere in it. And if you want to see something interesting as well, because same color, same shell.
Same color, same shell, but the size difference, right? And even the shape difference.
Shape is different, totally different. But that means the shell received like 2 different holes. So he created 2 pearls to fill the holes. Yeah.
And these ones, I believe, Bert, they are even rarer than the pink conch pearl, right?
It's very rare. Very, very rare. Because the animal has to be very old. Different shapes, triangle, flamingo pink. Always interesting. And I got this one. This one is big. Okay, this one is around 20 carats. Ooh. It's a pearl which was created at maybe between 15, 20 years ago.
This was created 15, 20 years ago.
It's a lot of time. It takes really a lot of time to create a conch pearl like this. Yeah.
Which era of jewelry were conch pearls very popular in? Have they always been popular throughout the different eras of jewelry?
Not really. Look, we got a round one, orange.
And this is close to the horse one, the horse conch pearl, the color?
Regular one. It's just the water was a little bit too hot, I believe. That's why. So talking about the period, actually, since it's coming from the Caribbean, the first one, you see the color, saturation red,
yes.
Pearl.
So we have saturation red, we have pink, we have red, such beautiful colors.
So many. Just to give you an idea, again, I will show you a small necklace. It's more or less, most of the pearls will be those colors. You see? Different shade, cool. Pastel hues.
I love how you selected all pastel shades in this one particular necklace.
Pastel hues. So you got creamish, light orange, a little bit of light pink as well. This is very nice. assembling those colors together.
So you were talking about the period. In which period were these pearls very popular?
Okay, back to the question. So actually, as I was saying, since it's coming from the Caribbean, the first person, more or less, who found those pearls were the one traveling over there. So that would be the British with their boats and bringing back some extraordinary things that they found within the US or the Caribbean. So the first moment the pearls was popular were maybe, I would say, no, that was for the royal families anyway. It was the British royal families. So you will see some queens with some natural Conch Pearl brooch. Brooch is actually very famous, which is right now in a very nice collection in Geneva. But that would be like the first moment where they discovered this. So the first person who were served were the royal families.
The royal family. Mm-hmm.
And then after was the Belle Epoque in US with different designers. Tiffany made a wonderful piece, really extraordinary, with a Conch Pearl in a cage. Cartier as well was one of the one producing Conch Pearls jewelry. So there was all this period which the pearls were very attractive. And at one point, there's new designer who took over. I don't know if I can mention some names, but we all know them.
Go ahead.
It's like Bogossian started to do some things. We got like all those Mikimoto who promoted this through Lançon as well, and all those designers. And it's true that at one point, the market picked up for the Conch Pearls and the limitation because the site test took place. So site test is a process that was created to help the animal, to help the okay. So that means there are some restrictions in terms of exportation, such as ivory from elephant or crocodile skin, things like this. So it's very similar. So that means that if I want to export Conch Pearl from one country to the other, I need to make an application to the custom and to declare it as Conch Pearl traveling from one country to the other. So it's true that at one point it became complicated for the jeweler to, if you produce in Paris and you want to sell to your client in New York, it became quite a hassle. Now it's a little easier. Things are coming back, and you see like most of the designer high jewelry house in the world now are using it.
Oh yeah,
most
absolutely.
Of them, really.
So since you spoke about the restrictions, my next question is that how is the Conch Pearl business helping the locals in the island? Hope that they are being taken care of, because people are working so hard to these rare pearls, which are really valuable.
Absolutely. So first of all, there is no such thing as Conch Pearl business. It doesn't exist. The business is on the conch meat. This the fisher got after. There's basically 2 seasons during the year. There's the season where the fishermen will go for lobster because it makes a lot of money when you fish it. And when the lobster fishing season is over, they will go for conch meat. But again, they go fish for the food. Again, once in a while, if they're really lucky and they thank God for 2 weeks after that, they will find a Conch Pearl. So to answer your question, how as a company or how as individuals we can help them, what we do is that Conch Pearls, we never know where they come from. But what we always have some village of fishermen that we like to support. That means always sending some equipment when they go fishing. That means sending some food. When there's some natural typhoon or things like this, we send money, basically. We always here to help them and sell them. We don't always have to buy things from them, but we are well as a family to all, to take care of them. That's what we want. Every time there's a typhoon, we send money right away. So even if they don't have pearls, actually people can do something with it, keep on living.
So you mean to say that Conch Pearl is just a byproduct? In business is conch meat, and Conch Pearl just happens to, and Conch Pearl just happens to be a byproduct that people discover.
Absolutely. That's not something that people go after. And you can find an extraordinary Conch Pearl in one village in Mexico, and there will be no Conch Pearl for the coming 5 years. Whoa. So it's very hard. It's a very hard thing to manage. Absolutely. Yeah.
Conch Pearls that you have, so they must be how many years? Like you've collected them over a period of?
Actually, all the Conch Pearls that I have, stay with me just a little bit of time. Usually they go for someone else after. But let's say, but to kind of answer your question, if I want to assemble a necklace like this, like we saw, having some similar colors, similar shape, this one is actually not that big. The largest one is 3 carat. It takes around 6 months just to have this. So when you see the largest necklace different designer have, it takes 1-2 years sometimes to assemble them. That's rare. That's really rare. I mean, I put something, I think, on my Instagram like a couple of weeks ago. There's 142 million kilos of diamonds every year. There's maybe like 20,000 carat of conch pearls every year. I mean, there's no comparison. It's one of the rarest things in the world. I will be actually very interested to compare it with pink diamond. They are more rare than pink diamond. So if we talk about investments, it's definitely something that people should be interested on.
We know that the value of diamonds does appreciate. So how about the value of conch pearls, over the years? Will it be a good investment for the collectors?
I don't know about the price of the diamond. This is not my industry. I don't really know how it works.
Yes,
it's beautiful. I like it, but it's not something I'm very. I don't know a lot of things about them. Conch pearls for the past 10 years, I would say. The market price has been growing 20% per year for the past 10 years. It's very consistent, and it's more and more because more and more people are aware of it. So there's more demand, and unfortunately, there's less and less pearls every year. So it's definitely interesting when you consider it as an investment, and it's a beauty nature.
Yes. So can we see some more of your treasures from you, please?
Let me show you this one. I like this one. The flame structure. I hope you're going to see it, but it's very interesting pieces. Ooh, can you see something?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can send a lot of pictures to everybody. And again, as well, when people are looking for pairs, pairs of conch pearls, it's so hard. It's so complicated. See this one? You got a little bit sakura color on it. Very cute piece.
And the shape is so different from the ones that you've shown us so far.
Absolutely. There's, again, the conch pearl usually is round, but you can see different shape as well. Drop shape is very rare. Round is rare, but it's mostly, Look at this. I like those colors. More sakura.
Beautiful.
Not too close.
So there was a very interesting question asked. Is there a color chart available for these pearls?
There is a color chart, actually. I put one of my websites a long time ago. It's conchpearls.com, so it's very easy to access it. And basically what I said is that I took all the different colors of conch pearls that I've seen and created 3 categories among the pink ones, because that's what we look for. So there's the sakura pink, flamingo pink, and salmon pink. Basically, it's pink with different additional color in it. If you take the sakura, I said this is pink and white. Flamingo is pink and red. And salmon is pink and orange. So within those 3 families, you can rank most of the conch pearls. The other ones are easier, as we say, it's more white, orange. But the pink is the most interesting part of it.
May I request you to show us each category of the color as you spoke from 1, 2, and 3, so we all can see the different variations of the shades.
All right, you got the flamingo.
Okay.
All right, pink and red.
Pink and red. Okay, got it.
This big one will be a sakura, pink and white.
Got it.
You see the difference? And a salmon, I think this one is a good example. Salmon pink, so orange and pink. Right, so if you put them, do you want me to try to put them together to see the difference?
Yes, that would be wonderful.
What?
Whoa, thank you so much, Bert.
Does it make sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
All right, cool. Big sakura whitish. Again, so if you look for a value, again, you look for the color. The people actually appreciate the color differently throughout the world. Asia, US, it's different thing. Salmon pink is something that is more personal. People will look for it because they like it. After, if you talk about sakura, again, sakura,
Got it.
or flamingo,
Got it.
this sakura usually is more for the North American market, whereas flamingo is more Asian. So there you go.
With diamonds, we have heard about certification is very important. People like to buy diamonds which are certified. So let's talk about Conch Pearls. How do people buy Conch Pearl? Is it based on certification or is it just based on what you like?
I'm having difficulties to answer that because usually the clients buying from me, they trust me. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
doing the
Yes.
certification.
Okay.
This is not something that different labs are doing different certification. There's always the GIA, SSCF, Ternat actually as well. But again, there's no culture. So there's not many things to put on a cert, right?
But how about like for the color, and for the flame? So when you talk about the flame, is there like a flame level 1, 2, 3, so that may affect the value of the pearl?
Yeah, there's always values. I got a classification of flame as well. You can see as well on the website. The thing is, if you take the labs, they're doing gemstones. They're very good in what they're doing in gemstones. But on pearls, it's something which is very different from what they used to do. So if we talk about color, they don't really know how to grade colors. Most of the cert will be like pink. Okay, doesn't help. And in terms of flame structure, there's no, they don't talk about it.
Got it.
There's different type of flames, and usually people, when they look for something specific on the flame, we can find it as well.
So I'm guessing that certification is not the main base that people will set, before they purchase. No, that doesn't happen.
No.
So it's
People
all
look
matter
at,
of trust.
absolutely, and they look at the pearl. They need to see it. The certificate is something which is different. It didn't hit yet the market.
I just spoke about certification. One thought came to my mind that with diamonds, we have master stones based on what people compare the shades and the color. But when it comes to Conch pearls, because each pearl is different and each color is different, so of course there are no master stones, right?
It's a very GIA remark that you're saying with those master stones. No, there's nothing like this.
Nothing like that.
Again, we've been checking pearls for years, decades.
Wonderful.
So having those three biggest families about pink, it makes it very easy to put them in one rank. After, the intensity is different. But
so guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask Bert. And Bert, would you like to show us some more of your Conch pearls in the meantime?
see, I got these small earrings that I did a long time ago. But just to show you different shapes and colors.
So beautiful.
Coming together, small star diamonds.
How difficult it must have been for you, like actually assemble identical, more or less identical color, size.
It's a nightmare. It's an inventory business. It's inventory. So if you like a pearl, you put it aside and then you wait a few months. And sometimes you're lucky enough to find something similar. But yeah,
it's a nightmare.
It is. Like this as well. So you got different shades of pink, different shape. Simple.
These are so beautiful.
Nice.
You are arranging all these Conch pearls for all of us, Bert. We truly appreciate
No problem. I love it. So it's very easy for me. You see, and there's one thing important about the color we didn't mention. I'm sorry, I forgot to say it, but the larger the pearl become, the lighter the color will be. So all those big pearls always tend to become some kind of whitish.
Yes, now we understand.
Okay. And there's a very interesting question, if you don't mind, I'd like to answer because everybody's talking about it. Estelle Cervantes. So there's how would I say that? There's a myth saying that actually the Conch pearl will lose color based with the sunlight.
Yes.
Or lose color intensity. And it's very interesting to notice that because everyone's been talking about this for years. We always have the impression that it was true, but throughout the different research that we did, actually, it's not always the case. And let me elaborate a little bit on this.
Yes.
If you take a Conch pearl, you put it on the UV light, sunlight, for 10 years, the color will not change. So that's a fact. But there's some certain rays of light, which is not from the traditional spectrum, that could
Mm-hmm.
have an influence on it. So for instance, for example, if you take a very nice pearl like this, again, flamingo pink, you put it under X-ray for 15 minutes, half of the color will be gone. It will become like this, more or less, because the X-ray is something that has influence on it. So when we talked about the certification in the labs, this is something that they learn the hard way as well. If you want to test a natural pearl, usually you use X-ray. Conch pearls, you're not using X-ray because it damages the pearl. So this is something about it. The other thing I would like to say about the color and the change of color, it's ceramic. If you put acid on it, perfume, alcohol, cream, no matter what, the aspect of the pearl will be less shiny at one point. And you could see actually a color difference. It didn't change color, but the surface, since there's a more pores, I would say, it will look different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there has
There
been
you go.
quite a few questions about drilled pearls and undrilled pearls. Can you please specify more about it?
What does it mean? Some are drilled, some are not drilled.
Yeah, no, there was a question asked by
I'm sorry.
Swapna. No, that's fine. She asked that I was asked to avoid drilling them. So maybe she's asking that is it okay to drill conch pearls?
This is personal. Let's make an example.
Okay.
The largest producer of conch pearl jewelry in the world most likely is Mikimoto. So they drill all their pearls. One of the, I would say, I don't know how to say that politely or diplomatically, but one of the designers that I like the most, usually they don't drill them. They put prongs because it's always the same. Do you want to keep it as a gem and maybe use it in a different piece of jewelry in the future? Or this will be one ring and it stays like this. So it's totally personal. It's about the jeweler and what he wants to do with it. But one thing which is important is if you attempt to drill a conch pearl, be extremely careful. It's not a regular pearl. So if you drill it the regular way, it will break. So it has to stay cold and be done under the water. It's very complicated, very, very complicated.
And can you show us an example of your jewelry which are drilled and jewels which are non-drilled so we could admire the beauty of both?
The two examples that I have, this one, all of them are drilled.
Okay.
So you will see, and those ones actually are not.
Got it.
And this one as well, the back, as you see, there's no contact between the pearl and the skin to avoid any problem.
Would like to see some more of your conch pearls, and we would love to hear some more of your word of expertise on them.
This one is nice as well. The shape is very roundish. I like it.
I'm going to put the comments off so we can see them. Yes, please.
This is cool.
That means that we must make a trip to Hong Kong, visit you, and come and see all these pearls in person.
Yeah, you should. Everybody is welcome to come to Hong Kong. First of all, because it's one of the most extraordinary cities in the world. No matter what people are saying, nothing happened here for the past 2 years. It's very attractive, and we like the city. So please come visit us. The food is delicious. People are nice and happy, and it's always a good mood to be here. Joke apart. No, this is interesting because Hong Kong has always been some kind of platform for jewelry business in the world, and especially in Asia. And actually, despite the fact that different cities are doing quite a great job in promoting jewelry, Hong Kong is still some place that people like to come to buy and to see some jewelry. So we're very lucky to have access to a lot of things here. Okay, I'll show you this one. This is a horse conch. It's a chocolate egg.
It's so different in color.
So all the pearls I show you, they're not supposed to exist. It's really anomalies, being that big and being that colors. But I like to show. So your pearl, which is exceptional.
You don't have to ask us. You just have to show.
It's a little bit different. It's an animal called a spondylus. It's a spiny oyster. But as I said from the beginning, I love natural pearls. But have you seen a pearl like this naturally?
Oh my God, that's a natural pearl.
Natural pearl, purple, different layers. This is
Yes, purple,
exceptional.
different layers. Please, Bert, can you just hold it once again? We want to admire it for a little bit of more time.
No problem.
Wow.
This is natural. It comes like this. There's no treatment, nothing. It just come, as you said, it just come naturally like this. And if you're lucky enough, after a few years, you find the same one but smaller.
And what's the name of this pearl?
Yeah, it's a spondylus. So spondylus
Spondylus.
is the animal. You know, it's bivalve oyster with some
Mm-hmm.
kind of hooks all around the shell. Anyway, it's a bit different from conch pearl, but this is so unique.
How expensive or how valuable are these in terms of the pricing? Since they're very
Uh,
rare.
Spondylus is different market. There's not many
Okay.
people know, but it's very collector. So
The color is so beautiful.
this is a nice salmon as well. We're lucky. We have big pearls today.
Thanks to you, Bert. It's all thanks to you.
No. Then you see the salmon different
Yes.
from the sakura that we have here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, Bert, it's been your family legacy. You're carrying forward it uncle to you, and of course, and
Absolutely.
soon to your daughter whenever she grows up.
Hopefully,
Yes, of
she likes
course,
it.
we hope that too. So, tell us that any word of advice which has always been close to your heart since you've worked closely with your uncle and taking this legacy ahead.
Absolutely. I remember the first time we've been to Tucson together. I was maybe 17 years old or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me something it took me years actually to understand, because especially when you're young, you know, you're full of energy, you want to do so many things. And what he told me is like, look, Bertrand, what we do is only one thing. We go find the rarest pearls in the world and we provide them for the designers. We are not designers, we are not jewelers. Everybody needs to be the best at what they do in this industry. So your job is to find the pearls. The rest, stop talking, let them create. And I think
Wow,
it's, yeah, since then, yeah, that's what I've been doing and focusing on. That's why
that's amazing.
usually I'm trying not to show too much. Anyway,
No, but thanks. You know, you've actually opened your heart and you've opened your entire treasure for all of us. So we really appreciate all your
my pleasure.
kindness. For some words of advice to the collectors who want to invest in these rare, beautiful pearls.
First of all, the most important is if you want to invest, you need to invest in something you like. Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
jewelry, it's natural pearls. Find something that you're more comfortable. I can tell you one color traditionally is a bit more expensive than the other color, but let's face it has to be something that you're comfortable with. Then you don't have to go big. Go for 2-3 carat, very nice pearl. It's nice. It's easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One platinum ring, 2 diamond, 4 prongs. It's enough. It's perfect.
How
Perfect.
beautiful, bird. Yes, yes. I think with that, we can call it a wrap. We're almost close to 1 hour's time, and time has flown by. Thank you for sharing us all these
Thank you
valuable
so much.
conch
Thank you
pearls
for the
with us.
opportunity to
It's
talk
my
about conch pearls.
pleasure. Thank you once again, Bert. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I hope that everybody appreciate it. See you
Yes,
soon.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.